Good morning, everyone. Before we get into this morning's update, I'd like to go over a quick overview of what is transpiring so far this morning on this Tuesday morning as the U.S. starts to wake up here on the Eastern Standard Time Zone, and then the West Coast wakes up. As right now it's only 4:46 a.m. over on the West Coast, but as they start waking up as we get closer to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll see a clear and decisive direction be formed here within the crypto community. XRP looks spectacular this morning, as we've talked about, or maybe not, I shouldn't say as we've talked about, because if it's your first time in here, you wouldn't have heard about it, but as our discussion's gone in the past couple of days, we were breaking out of a pennant flag. Even when we came up to $2.52 or $2.50, whatever it was, almost $2.60, we weren't too excited at that point because we knew we had to back test the pennant flag breakout. It's very unusual to break out of such a big pattern consolidation and not back test the breakout point. And now that we went back down there yesterday, back tested right at about $2.35. We went all the way to about $2.31. And now we've had a volatile swing. Now what we're looking for is to start using that $2.50 as a pivot point and use this as a new standard for a support. And our technical breakout right now that we've signaled on that back test hold is $3.38 approximately. So that is our technical setup that we have right now. Unless we invalidate it, our next big move, obviously we have $2.92 because that was the swing high right here, $2.90. But outside of that, because yeah, I suppose you could come up 13%, 14% and create a double top. But outside of that, right now we have signaled a short-term move of about 31% from where we're at right now. It started at 43%, but obviously you can see we've come up about 12% from the bottom. So it looks like we're universally still strong. It looks like we're doing what we need to do. Bitcoin, we were all over the heat liquidation map yesterday, and that's how it targeted that 89,000. And yesterday during the update in the morning, we talked about the drop to 89,000, and then it could reverse course. And we'll take a look at the heat signature map. And somebody, when we were doing the live yesterday, somebody was like, how does XRP or how does Ripple own 100 billion XRP? If you were one of the comments like that was watching the live and maybe didn't watch it all the way, or you weren't quite sure what I was saying, or you weren't understanding. Yeah, 100 billion, it's $100 billion worth of XRP Ripple owns, not 100 billion XRP tokens. It's a big distinction. They own $100 billion worth of XRP, which means they hold somewhere around 40-something billion tokens, if you put it into perspective. So that's what that means. I wanted to make sure to touch on that real quick. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index looks like it's settled in here at neutral, which is fantastic at 46, even with that big rise up. So I'm happy to see that. And the Bitcoin heat signature map, the heat liquidation map, is going to be something that we'll look at here this morning. So I would greatly appreciate if you are watching this morning, if you could hit that like button so YouTube does recommend this live. It would mean a great deal to me. It would allow my content to push through. But if you don't hit the like button, that's okay. Maybe I'm not hitting the point. Maybe you just don't want to, and that's okay. So with that being said, good morning. 7:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, January 14th, 2024, or 25. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So it is 2025. And it's going pretty quick. We're already 14 days in. As we can see, we came all the way down to that heat, the heat liquidation map brought us all the way down here, took out this massive liquidity. I mean, we had billions of dollars here. And then up here, same thing, we've created a large amount of liquidity here. A large amount near 96, 97, 98, 99, all the way up to about 98 up here is a large amount. Then you'd have to jump up here to start hitting some more, which there is. Once you get up to 102,800, you got 435 million of liquidity as well. But now we've created some liquidity below as well. So we also have to watch this. Look at all that at 90,900, 900 million. It looks like. So we've got some strong liquidity below us as well. So now it becomes, did we take out enough of this? And will it fail to go back down? Or is it going to come grab all that liquidity now? Let's see how much of it was put in the last 3 days. because that's a massive amount of liquidity that's forming above and below. So it's interesting when this starts happening, but you can see the long bettors are starting to feel a little bit more decisive. Short traders in the last 3 days, as you can see at this 98,000 level, if it goes up there, there's going to be quite a bit of liquidations in the last 3 days. You haven't had much pick up down here. So there is a chance that some of this we're seeing down here was already taken out by that wick in the longer time frames, because you can see when you come down here now, it's not as prevalent in the last 3 days. So definitely took out a lot of this liquidity down there we're seeing in the monthly time frame. But above us, even in the 3-day, we're starting to get a lot built up. In the 3-day, we built up 224 million at 97,650. That's good for upward liquidity. So we'll keep watching this. But we've had a beautiful breakdown, and Bitcoin went to 89,000 and grabbed that liquidity, held the rising broadening wedge. But as we've spoke about the last 5 to 7 days now, ever since this second hit on January 7th, so it's been about a week now, that this created an symmetrical triangle. And the target out of the symmetrical triangle, if we could break out of that 99,900 area, would be 112,000 for Bitcoin. So that's definitely something to pay attention to. Even though the rising broadening wedge hasn't been invalidated, we could, in a sense, come up out of a symmetrical triangle. We haven't validated this pattern. We haven't hit that area a third time, but we're definitely trending in the right direction. And then we could even come all the way up to 122,000, even if this is a rising broadening wedge, and create a head formation. And that would be the technical target out of the cup and handle before we ever had this rally for Bitcoin. So a lot to pay attention to. If we ever do fall out here, 74,900 would be the target out of the rising broadening wedge to the downside. So just pay attention to that if you're new. That's just something I want to make sure everybody knows. Mining stocks, losing a little bit of faith in them. Like I said, the last few weeks, just because I see a large amount of manipulation taking place in the commodity section, and I'm taking more of a position in just the gold and silver now instead of commodities. It goes against what I used to do. But again, yesterday we were hearing rumblings of B2Gold cutting their dividend in half, and now it's official. They cut their dividend in half. It's down 3.2% in pre-market. So there's going to be a large shift for me and my further future focus on exactly my trends, the trend that I'm going to take here when it comes to commodities. I have a large holding of precious metals, and it seems like now the commodity stocks, at least to start the year, is going to be kind of a downtrend, especially with the inauguration. Everything looks like it could fall out $2.87, possibly on a breakdown if it does happen. I'm feeling more so that this is going to have a big breakdown here. So just pay attention. The same thing with B2Gold. I don't anticipate they're going to actually hold these patterns after what I'm reading. Or not just reading, but all of the info I'm getting. And just like gold, I could see a huge correction coming. We're up to the... I distinguish that this might be a rising broadening wedge. And it could come up to maximize at 27.28, but this was a huge resistance area. And if it gets rejected and falls out, I still have an overwhelming target at 2,396. So there's a very real chance that my commodities focus, you'll see this coming in the days to come. Nope, not talking about it. Not talking about it. Not talking about it. And I'll just focus on the gold and silver, because when the commodities start to do what they're doing and they start cutting dividends, it's a key into the future. So that's just something that you need to be aware of, that I'll talk more about in the live. But yeah, just take that for what it's worth. I've trimmed my holdings significantly in commodities. Only because it seems like something shady starting to happen there, and a big drop could be in the making. So just beware. Don't say nobody ever warned you. And then with XRP, because I got to get my son to school at 8:20. And then he's got therapy after school, so I'll be doing an update from his therapy right around 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I usually do about 15 minutes while he's in therapy. And then we'll do a short at some point today, probably in the morning before I pick him up from school. And then we'll still do the live tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll always look forward to that. But the most important thing this morning is XRP. We're breaking out of the pennant flag. We back tested the breakout of the pennant flag. And right now, we're trying to hold that $2.50 pivot point. If we can hold that pivot point, look out. Look out, because this is like your last area that could hold us from this signal up to $3.30 plus cents. It's right around $3.38. It's going to be a spectacular move if it happens. Technically, we're not forcing it bearish, and I base it on what the charts are showing me. The charts are showing me there's more of a likelihood of a 32% rally than not. I would put this at about an 80% probability now. Well, 85% now that it's breaking out. Back tested. You can't ever say 100%, but I'm willing to take this from 78 to 85% now. 78% chance to break all the way up inside the pennant. I'd push it up to 85% now. Now all we need to do is hold at $2.56 at some point, or $2.50 at some point. And we're already trying to use this as the new pivot point. And if we can, $3.38 is not going to take long to take out. We'll take that level, at least hit it. And then we'll see if we're bearish against the rising, that uptrending support that is now becoming a big resistance. That was the cycle uptrend, which is very important when you're looking to continue bullish momentum. But that doesn't mean it can't ride the bottom of it. And I said this in the beginning, all the way up to our technical target at 539 in the long term. It could literally ride this as a resistance all the way up. Instead of getting back to the top side, you could literally boom, ride out, boom, and then just maybe that would be the end. I don't know. But you could definitely do that all the way up and be on the bottom side of that uptrending support. And technically, when you get to the bottom side of that uptrend, the cycle uptrend, it's starting to show you're slowing down with momentum. So, you know, we still have a big opportunity here because the pennant flag, and we'll watch it every single level, but this certainly looks like it's got more ambition to go up than down here at this point. Now we have to see if it plays true because nothing's guaranteed. But the technical move here is suggesting another 30+%. And it's just something to be paying attention to. If you're looking to trade crypto in the USA or around the world and you're not quite sure how to do it, especially in the USA, look in the video description below and or pinned comments of this video, or go into my homepage, just go to my homepage and click where it shows the BITUNIX link, and it'll pop up a few different links. BITUNIX has the lowest spot and leverage trading fees, lowest maker-taker fee. So if you're a leverage or a spot trader, if you're a leverage trader, I highly encourage BITUNIX. They have right now, depending on your trading volume in leverage trading, you get up to 800 free XRP until the first or second week of February. So take advantage of that. If you deposit up to $500, they give you 10% back. So if you do $500, you get $50, yada, 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 so on and so forth. You can do $100 and get $10. I think you can figure it out. They have XRP and many, many others. You can do HOTCOIN. Crypto.com is where I buy my DGB and many others. I have my Crypto.com debit card. It's a Visa card. I used it yesterday to make the down payment for my kitchen remodel. Quick, bang, boom, done. Re-topped it off at, well, I have to wait for the processing, but after that, I'll re-top it off, put it back to 25K, and then I will be able to do business as I see fit. If you want to send a donation, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, or you can always send a YouTube Super Chat or join Tom's Army, but none of that is encouraged unless you really, really want to. I'd rather you get on one of the exchanges, figure out what you need to do going forward, and use your money wisely for this next move if it happens. Right now, we could be setting up an inverse head and shoulders again, but that could bring us all the way back down to $2.40. You know what? I'm going to move this. I'm going to put this right here because with what I'm seeing, I think forget $2.50. As long as we hold $2.47, we're creating this inverse right shoulder, and this could be very volatile to the upside. So I expect some downward volatility here to start the morning. And then we'll see if we can capitalize as the day goes on. So make sure you pay attention to all my content coming out today. Make sure you pay attention to the charts. And don't let your emotion dictate your response. Like, I'm a big fan of commodities, but I don't let my emotion dictate what I'm doing. So we'll see how this plays out today. But the commodities sector is something that I would definitely take a hard look at and understand what you're getting into. There's a lot of good dividend-paying ones, but when they start cutting the dividends, we got to start paying attention. DXY looks like it's putting in a bullish reversal, possibly right here over a right arm. So if that's the case, it would be very interesting if this comes out of here, because then you're starting to look at that literally 115, 118 area. That's craziness, but that's what we've talked about. That rising channel is way up there, so if it wants to come back up to the top, that's why I drew it out like that so long ago. Because I could certainly see them doing that, and then as Trump comes in, they de-dollarize. because he talked about de-dollarization. So now that they rise it up before the inauguration, we could expect a big slam down here. So as far as our cryptos, looking pretty good this morning. But as I said, there's always room for optics. So we have to see exactly how this plays out. But I'm more optimistic today than I was yesterday. But at the same time, we still need to hold these pivot points, and we need to hold these areas of bullishness so that we can finish this move off. Have a blessed morning, everybody. Don't forget to give thanks to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and I'll be back before you know it.